Hey guys, welcome back into the next video in the series. In this video, you are going to get more familiar with the dashboard and the various items along the left here that are used to administer and manage your WordPress installation. Now, if you're like most people, once you set up a WordPress blog, the first thing you want to do is make it pretty. You want to go in and search for themes and change colors and all of that. Well, that's all well and good, and we will get to that in another video. But first, I think it's very important that you learn how to administer the website, how to add users, how to give them various privileges. We're also going to go over settings in another video. So before the fun begins, you need to learn exactly how to administer things on your site. And I always like to start by talking about users. So if you go over on the left-hand menu, you are going to find users as a category there. And from here, you can see all users currently logged in or currently associated with the system. You can add a new user and you can look at your own profile. So let's start off just by going to all users. And you can see at this point, there should only be one user, and that should be you. You should see your username, your email address, and your role there is administrator. Now, there are various roles within WordPress that you need to be familiar with. And one way to learn that is to click on the Help button. No matter where you are in the WordPress system, you can click on Help, and it will give you information relative to that section. For example, I just clicked on Help, and this screen lists all the existing users for the site. Each user has had one of 5 defined roles set by the administrator. That's you. The various roles are site administrator, editor, author, contributor, or subscriber. Users with roles other than administrator will see fewer options in the dashboard navigation when they're logged in based on their role. Let's look at the screen display. You can customize the display of the screen in a number of ways based on the user access. You can hide or display columns. You can filter the users, etc., etc. Various actions here. Hovering over a row in the users list will display action links. I'm not going to read all of that, but always just keep in mind that documentation and help files are just a click away. So let's talk about the various user roles. To do that, we're going to click on the Add New User. And then when I click on Help, it's going to tell me what the user roles are. So if you're adding someone new, they can be a subscriber. That means they can read the comments, they can leave comments, they can receive newsletters, but they cannot create site content. Basically, a subscriber is exactly what it sounds like. It's someone who subscribes to the site, can leave comments, can get updates on changes, but they can't log in or do any administrative privileges. Next, contributors can write and manage their posts but not publish posts or upload media files. When you set someone up as a contributor, they can log in and actually create a post, but the post cannot publish. They can just put it there, let you know it's there, and then it's up to you as the administrator to actually publish the post. Authors can publish and manage their own posts but are unable to upload files. Authors are a step above contributors. They can come and create a post, they can publish a post, but they can't upload files, and that is just for security's sake. It's to keep people from uploading files that may have malicious content to your website. Editors can publish posts, manage posts, as well as manage other people's posts. Think of it like a newspaper. Newspapers have editors, they have authors, they have contributors. Basically, an editor is someone who can do everything an author can do, but they can also manage other authors as well. If you have an editor who you hire or you use to review author posts to make sure they're good before they are published, that's that role. Typically, if it's just you, you are just going to worry about being administrator. And an administrator is someone who has all administrative features. But let's say, for the sake of argument, you wanted to add a new person here, and you are going to let them be a contributor. All you have to do to set up their account is assign them a username. And I'm just going to call them test contributor. you do have to use their email address. I'm going to use one of many email addresses that I have, and going to give them a name. Actually, let's call them Tim Contributor. And if they have a website, you can type that in. If not, don't worry about it. The system will assign them a password, or you can re-enter the password. You can tell when WordPress creates a password, it's a doozy. It's a cut and paster, as we used to call it. All right, so we want to send them a notification that their account has been created, and here's where we give them a role. Now remember, if they're just a subscriber, that means they have the ability to read the content and comment on it, and that's it. If they're a contributor, they have the ability to contribute content, but the content is not going to be published. Same with an author. They can publish their own content. They cannot upload media files. An editor can see their contributions as well as others, and then the administrator is someone who has full administrative purposes. So for right now, I'm just going to list Tim Contributor as a contributor. I'm going to click Add New User. And what's going to happen now, you can see that Tim Contributor is now a user. He has contributor privileges, and Tim is going to receive an email that says, hey, here is your username and password information. That's how you add a new user. It's very important that you're aware of how these roles come into play. With WordPress, people can come to your website and actually sign up to be a subscriber. You would see them listed here. At some point in this video series, I will log into one of my sites and show you. I have 13,000 subscribers to one of my websites, and they're all listed there. So that is what the user tool is. That's how you can administer them. If I wanted to get rid of this user, I could very easily. If I want to add another user, I can very easily. So that's what the user system is. Now, if you go to your profile, this is just going to be your profile that really has just been set up now. You can see when we created this user, we didn't, this is the user that was actually created by the system. I can go in here now and give myself a username. If I want my username to be displayed publicly when I post, I can do that here. If I would like my full name to play, and I'll show you that a little later. What this means is when you post something, your name as the poster can come up, and it will be in this area here. I'll show you that in another video. But let's say that when I add something to the website, I want the display name to be my full name. I can just set that here. I can also set a website. I can type in biographical information. I can change my password. I can do anything I want. I can log out everybody if I want to. It depends on my mood. So I'm going to update my profile. You can do this or you can't do that. It's entirely up to you. But I wanted to give you an overview again of the user system, because it's very important if you are going to have more than just you logging into the site. Let's say you've got a partner or your spouse wants their own account. This is how you set it up. From the dashboard, go to users, add new, enter the information, and the account is created. And always keep in mind that if you click on help, you are going to see help for the page that you're on. There's also a screen option here, and this screen option basically says what you will see on the page. For example, it's displaying the email, the role, and the post, and the number of items. If I had 20 users, they'd all be showing here. All right, so always remember you've got screen options and help on every page. If you had a bunch of users and you wanted to search for them by name, you can certainly do so, and it's going to show you whoever has Tim, and of course that's going to match both of those. All right, so that's going to do it for this video on how to look at the users, how to add users, how to administer privileges. One more thing, keep in mind that you can edit. For example, if I wanted to make Tim Contributor an administrator, I could easily do so just by clicking on Edit, scrolling down to their profile, and changing their role. Let's say I'm going to make Tim an author now rather than a contributor. I'm going to click Update User. When I go back to the All Users screen, you're going to see that Tim is now an author. All right, so very simple, but it is very important that you realize how to use the user administration screen.